Hello again, everybody. My name is Jimmy the Saint, and welcome back to Kerbal Space Program. We've already achieved orbit, and I'm just trying to set up our next maneuver here to take us to the moon. I've elapsed the time a little bit, sped things up to where I'm getting to the correct point in my orbit here, and I'm just going to sit here and fiddle with these this next next marker here to set my next burn. Let's see. Just gonna sit here and adjust it a bit. Just about. Almost got it. Yep, there we go. And we're achieving one. Alright, so that's what we're looking for. Once we see that orbit changed into 2 orbits, that's what we're looking for. Because at that point, we're being influenced by the moon's gravity. And we're getting all sorts of odd orbits as we're changing this. Because of the way the moon's going to affect us. And it's going to throw all kinds of odd orbits out there to us. So I'm trying to get one that's going to be influenced by the moon and then come back to Kerbin pretty close to where we're at. Right, that's not going to be influenced by the moon, so let's back that out just a bit. Okay, so we have a moon encounter, and that's what we want. That's exactly what we're looking for. Alright, so we got plenty of time to set up for this burn, so let's go ahead and line it up. Line up the spacecraft, and you get this blue marker, and that's where you want to burn to. That's telling you where you want to line up to achieve this burn. Let's get it lined up pretty well here. There we go. And I'm just going to speed up time because we've got 9 minutes until we get to this point. It's going to be a 1-minute burn, so we're going to want to start it, or 1 minute and 16 seconds. So we're going to want to start it about, what, 38 seconds before we get to that node. And that's going to pull us back around and get us actually pretty close to Kerbin again. We'll have to do a correction burn to actually land, but that'll get us pretty close. So we're 6 minutes out. Speed it up a bit more. Alright, we're 1 minute out. Minute and 20 seconds. Almost to the point where we need... This is where our maneuver's at. This is where we're at. We are almost there. I want to just last minute little adjustments here to get it lined up just perfect in this burn. Alright, and we're about, let's see what I say, 38 seconds is where we need to start the burn. Almost there. Speed it up just a hair. Okay, we're at 43, 42, 41, 40, 39, 38. Let's go. Set this burn, and you'll notice our blue orbit will start to climb up out of the atmosphere as we're speeding up here. And this is giving our timer. This is how long we have to burn it. And when we get pretty close to that, we're going to back off the throttle and kill the engine. It's going to take a full another 47, 46 seconds. And you'll see this blue orbit climbing closer and closer to this gold orbit. That's our target there, the gold. Getting closer here, about 32 seconds. You'll start to see that blue just climb all the way out there. Because what we're doing right now, we're speeding up and escaping the atmosphere, escaping the gravity, escaping this orbit of Kerbin right now. Almost there. 13 seconds. I'll stop talking and pay attention to that burn. I want to get it right. I want to get it very, very close. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Done. Oh shit! I hit the wrong button. Oh my god. Okay. How can I correct this? This is gonna take us past it. Damn it! Retrograde, really quick. And I want to burn for just a couple of seconds on retrograde and slow this thing down. That has got us in. Okay, that's gonna get us really close. We'll have to do a correction burn, but we still have a moon encounter. That's what we want. Okay. So turn this off, and you'll see this is going to be our new orbit. We're going to get in a moon encounter, and we're going to get sucked in by the gravity of the moon, and it's going to fire us out when the moon passes by us, it's going to affect our orbit. So we're not going to come back to Kerbin at all. It's going to shoot us off and escape the atmosphere, or escape the orbit, I'm sorry, the orbit of Kerbin entirely, and send us out into the atmosphere. We can do a burn to correct all that. When we get a little closer to the moon, we'll do that. We still got enough fuel to do that, so we're good. So now all we got to do is wait till we get close to the moon. I'm just going to speed up time, advance time a lot here. You'll start to see the moon coming around. There it is, way over there. When we get closer, so what we're doing right now, we're actually slowing down as we get closer, heading towards our apoapsis here, which is considered the highest point in our orbit, slowing down as we're ascending to that orbit, or ascending to that point. We're actually going to encounter the moon after we hit our apoapsis and start to come back. So that's probably the point where we want to start to change our trajectory, change our burn a bit, so we can come back, not only get close to the moon, but get back to Kerbin. We've got quite a while till we get to there. Slow it down a bit. Okay. So there's the moon over there. We can actually go into our spacecraft view, and you can see the planet Kerbin, and there's the moon right there. So let's get back into our orbit map and set up this return. Because we're gonna come into the encounter right here, which is what we need to get our science points. So just before I get to that point, I want to add a maneuver to get us back home. So I need to turn the craft back towards Kerbin and get us back into orbit with it, or close to orbit with it. I need to get within about 20,000 meters of the surface. So this is the point I'm looking for. It's 600,000 meters. I need to get it close to about 20,000 meters. It's going to be, we're so far out, it will not take much fuel at all to achieve this. Okay, that's going to actually crash us into the surface. Let's adjust it just a hair back out. That's 23,000 meters. 19, that's where I want it. 19,000 meters. That's it's going to be pretty close. Let's get it just a bit more. It's still saying we're going to have enough speed to carry us back out of the orbit. Let's look at that. Let's get another look at that really close here. I think that should do it. So it's a 6-second burn, and we're still going to get the moon encounter. We're just going to increase our speed so that when we escape it, we don't fire off in the wrong direction. We'll control what direction we head in. I'm going to speed this up till we get closer to that point of the burn. Go ahead and actually, I want to go ahead and line it up first. And here we are. Oh. Silly me, I had retrograde still on. There we go. Got the craft lined up with it here. Alright, and speed up time till we get to that point. It's pretty interesting to speed up the time and see how everything continues is in its orbits and everything, how everything operates, how everything works. You can see it moving. Alright, getting close here to our burn. We're lined up and ready. And burn. 4, 3, 2, 1, 0, done. That's going to be really close. That's going to put us at 10,000 meters. And we've still got tons of fuel to make any corrections we might need. Perfect. Our batteries are charged because we got those solar panels. And if you happen to notice that your batteries are not charged fully, all you'd have to do is go into your staging here, find your solar panels and turn. You can rotate the aircraft, turn it towards, find the sun, and rotate it towards the sun. That way they'll recharge those batteries, because you want to make sure you've got enough battery power to let's turn that off. Make sure you have enough battery power to make any maneuvers you need. That you know, your electricity makes the maneuvers with the craft. So we're going to get our moon encounter here in a little bit, another little bit more time. So we're just going to speed up. Actually, you know what? I'm just going to warp to that point. I'm going to set. Basically, you can just click on it and hit warp here, and it's just going to zip me right to that point really fast, and the time should slow back down. And I want to wait till I get to that moon encounter, and that'll complete that contract, because that's our contract, is to fly by the moon. So, what does it say? Another 3 minutes over there, so I'll just manually speed that up until we get to that point. And bingo. We just hit it. Contract complete. Talk about close encounters. Any closer and there'd be paperwork. So we got 8 science points for that, 106,000 credits. And you noticed our trajectory, our orbit, our trajectory just changed, because we are now being affected by the gravity of the moon. It's nothing to worry about. It's just, for now, we're so close to the moon that it is affecting our orbit. So now's the time to do all of our scientific experiments. Let's go ahead and observe the materials bay. Collect the science from that. We get 50 science points. The high radiation environment causes a few of the samples to glow. It looks like it'd be fun to paint the rocket with this. Yeah. Open the service bay here for all our other scientific experiments located inside here. We have our barometer. Click on it to log the pressure data. The instrument reads 0. It's as if we were in a vacuum, and you are in space. So collect 24 science from that. And we've got, oh wait, thermometer down here on the bottom. It's a little hard to see. Log the temperature out here. Measuring the temperature of space appears to be quite impossible, as there is no matter around to be either hot nor cold, except the spacecraft and the thermometer itself. This is probably going to give the R&D guys something to think about for quite a while. So, collect 16 science for that. And we have our mystery goo container up here. Let's observe it. See what it's doing out here. The goo seems to be less dense. Well, okay. Log that data, and let's close that hatch back. We're going to get a crew report, so click on that crew command pod and get a crew report. And basically, you look at the surface of the moon and try to find a good landing space. The inside of the craters might be the best option. So he's taking notes on what he's seeing, so we're going to collect that data. And lastly, we're going to do an EVA report. Basically, where is the hatch? This thing right here is the hatch. So you want the Kerbal to get out of the spacecraft, and he is now in space, and you can collect a EVA report, a report from his observations outside the craft in space. So you got that. You can fly around. He has limited fuel on board. I'm not going to do it because I don't want to screw this up. I'm actually doing fairly well today. Like I said, I've done a lot of trial and error, but you can fly around the craft and then perform other experiments. If you had a scientist, you could perform other experiments and everything. But he's just a pilot. I have to have a pilot to fly the craft and use the SAS. I don't have a module big enough right now to use multiple, to take multiple Kerbals into space. So all I'm going to do now, I've collected all the scientific data I need. We're as close to the moon as we're going to get at this point. It's going to continue moving on its orbit. We're currently being pulled. We're supposed to be going in this direction, but we're being pulled by the moon. So it's actually pulling us this way. At this point, the moon will be over here, and we will escape the pull of the moon, and we will continue on our previous orbit. Speed this up a bit, and you guys will see it as we get closer and closer and closer. We're getting far enough away from the moon that we will escape its pull at approximately that much time, another 7 minutes or so. And this is our closest encounter to the moon right here. And speed this up a bit to show you guys the final little bloop, and you'll notice the orbit will change back. There you go, boom. So we've escaped the pull of the moon, and it's showing our previous orbit again. So we are going to actually come in really hot, it looks like, on this orbit. And actually, it's intersecting with the center of the planet. I'm not sure if that's going to come in too hot. I'm going to save my game right here, do a quick save with F5, and if it doesn't work out, I can always reload it to come back to this point and correct it. I'm not sure if that's too hot. I can't quite tell. I think it is. So I'm actually just going to quickly add a maneuver and just speed the craft up just a hair. Wait, that's not what I want. Oh, there we go. Now, okay, 10,000. I thought that's what we were heading for. Never mind, my apologies. So yeah, save the game now. Alright, and we're going to head back. We're coming in at 10,000 meters. So what I want to do on my nav ball here is turn on my stability and head to the retrograde. Alright, let's just go ahead and line that up. And what I'll do is when we get close to the surface, because what it's going to do right now, we're going to get close to about 10,000 meters, and we're actually going to be going so fast, we're going to come back out of orbit. We don't want that. We want to slow down enough to where when we get into the atmosphere, that we will slow down enough to land safely, hopefully. We'll be caught by the gravity and pulled down to the surface. So I want to do a retro burn when I get close to the planet. So I'm just going to speed this up until we get pretty close to their time warp here, and we are actually accelerating right now, so you got to be really careful with this time warp because we're falling, we're descending into our parapsis, so the craft is actually gaining speed. That's what makes this tricky about landing or falling in orbit with such a radical oval shaped orbit. We're going to gain so much speed that we'll have to slow the craft down. Let's actually go ahead and turn the speed off and set our retrograde back up, and now time warp again to get a little bit closer. Almost there. Come on. Craft is gaining speed. You can see the speed just climbing here as we're falling towards the planet, or our parapsis, to be more specific. Almost there. And that's about close enough, I think. I think that's close enough to do our retro burn. We're at 600,000 meters. Let's give it a little bit longer. Alright, so there's the planet, and we're coming in at this angle right here. Speed this up just a bit more. I want to wait till I get around 100,000 meters and do this burn to slow the craft down so that we'll be pulled down into the orbit. Ideally, we'd want to aim for a water landing because we don't have any landing gear or anything. So this might work pretty well. Just going to speed up time here. Allow the SAS to pull us back into the retrograde. Speed it up again. I'll do this a couple of times. We get close to 100,000 meters and then perform the burn to start to slow the craft down. Alright, just below 100,000 meters, line everything up, and we're traveling at 3,000 meters per second, so we have got to slow that down quickly. So turn it on full thrust and start slowing the craft down. And I don't know if it'll burn all the fuel on this. I just might. We'll see how much we need to do to get what we need. We're on the back side. Unfortunately, we can't see very well. But I think we're going to land in the ocean with this. 60,000 meters. It's going to use all the fuel. We're just slow down to 2,500 meters. And I'm going to go ahead and check to see if that's going to work. That looks like it is going to work. Yes. So let's go back to our staging and separate the craft from the engines. Keep it at retrograde because we're going to be coming into the atmosphere really soon now. And the heat shield, we're going to need it to start absorbing the heat from our re-entry. We'll go ahead and pull that up and look at it. We've got plenty of electrical charge. We're not going to need to make any more maneuvers, and the ablator should start to boil off all this heat, and it's going to protect everything. We might damage the solar panels here on the side, might be damaged in this re-entry, but that's okay. We don't need any more. We don't need them to recharge the batteries anymore. Anyways, we're on re-entry. Slowing down. Are we going to slow down enough is the question. Coming down to 20,000 meters, 19,000, and we're coming below 2,000 meters per second. So yes, we're going to slow down just enough to be captured by the gravity and not go back out. Yep, see the little damage meters are coming up here on the solar panels. They're being damaged here, but that's okay. Coming in really hot, and we're slowing down. 800, 700, 600 meters per second. We're at 9,000 meters. I want to kind of time this. I don't want to. I'm keeping an eye on it before I deploy my parachutes. I want to be below 300 meters per second, and roughly 500 meters in the 5,000 meters in the air is what I just like to do. It's just how I like to do it. I'm gonna go ahead and turn off my stability control and just allow the craft to fall. Once I do that, almost there. 5,000 meters. Turn off stability. Deploy the parachute, which you can't really see. It's right here. And when I get down to around, and it's starting to slow the craft down even more, when it gets down to around 500 meters, the chute will fully deploy and slow the spacecraft down the rest of the way. So that's pretty much it. This is going to be a successful little landing. I'm going to speed this up just a bit. It takes a bit of time. And it looks like we're landing in the water. I can't quite tell, but it looks like we're going to land in water, so that's good. And the craft is slowing down to about 6.5 meters per second, so it should be a fairly soft landing. Even if we were to land on land, that might damage a few things, but it's not going to kill anything. It's not going to kill the Kerbal on board. It's not going to damage the craft too bad at all. So there's our splashdown, and we have successfully done it. Alright, so we've successfully splashed down. Let's just recover this vessel here and reap our rewards. It's processing a lot of information here, apparently. Okay, wow, we got 148 science earned. We're up to 169. So this is all the science we gathered out there on them. It's quite a lot, actually. It's enough for another full spend. We can spend another upgrade in the science lab in the R&D department. This is all the parts we recovered. So we've got 174,000 funds. We actually completed 2 contracts, and Jebediah Kerman gained another experience point, so he gained another level there. Done with that. Let's see the contracts we completed. We transmitted scientific data around the moon. We completed that, and we did the next one. We did the flyby of the moon. So we actually completed 2 contracts there. The other one was to recover scientific data from the space around the moon. We got to that moon encounter, and that's what I wanted. I needed to bring it back to get the reward. So discard both of those. We've completed those contracts. So now we've got enough points to spend on the next couple of upgrades here. You can see how I've progressed down the tree to get to this point. Thank you so much for watching. My name is Jimmy the Saint. If you haven't already, please hit the subscribe button. If you enjoy the video, hit the thumbs up button. I post a new video every day, so we'll see you guys again on the next one. Thank you so much for watching.